Hello everyone, I'm finally back with another Stinger review. Today I'm going to talk about Loopmancer, a 2D action roguelike platformer in a Cyberpunk universe. I was offered a free copy of the game when it was released in July 2022, but I only decided to accept the game and play it recently. I'm glad that I did, because Loopmancer is in many ways so much better than I expected it to be. The story in Loopmancer seems pretty interesting at first. You are playing as a detective working on a case which is very personal to him. As the name of the game suggests, you will loop a lot. You are basically living a Groundhog Day and trying different things just to get the best possible outcome. Some decisions might lead you into fights you're unable to win, and some other ones can lead you to tragic endings which will make you want to put a bullet into your head so you can start all over again. It truly feels like an exciting detective story at first, until you realize that it's a simple try all combinations of available decisions to see all possible outcomes. And when you try them all and still no happy ending, you kind of lose interest in wasting one more hour on another loop which is most likely going to give you the same ending you already saw before. Getting the happy ending in the end was not even worth all the time spent. After experiencing all 7 endings, I recommend you getting 3 or 4 and moving on to another game. You will really not miss much. I wish the end of the story would give you some more explanations or give you closure. It's missing the satisfying feeling of the end. It just sends you back to looping, so I assume it never really ends. The gameplay in Loopmancer is entertaining, at least for a couple of hours. The level design is changing every time you start a new loop, so you can't learn the level layouts, and it adds more variety so the game will stay fresh longer. But no matter what, it will get very repetitive if you decide to go for all endings. It's a combat-focused platformer, so you will fight a lot. Some levels have fights you can avoid by running forward, but many times you have to defeat all enemies in order to unlock the exit. Each section of a level gives you challenges, certain tasks you need to do. It's optional and can be risky, but you will be rewarded for your effort. I wish you could see the challenges of each area before you enter it, so you could read them before you get attacked by enemies. Challenges like killing enemies with mines were really badly planned, because those mines are placed there by default and they basically get blown up as soon as you see them when enemies run over them towards you. It's not enough damage to kill full HP enemies, and you can't get new mines after. I also got a deflecting shots challenge in an area without enemies who can shoot. In Loopmancer you have 4 different types of tech: a melee weapon, a ranged weapon, a tactical gear and a skill. There is a huge variety in all categories. I loved the funny options like beating enemies with a fish or a sex toy and throwing slippers at them. It's amazing how making the same choices can still feel different, because now your character knows what he didn't know before, so he might try something else in the cutscenes. I wish there were more changes like that. The game seems a bit rushed towards the ending. The last levels are missing the little details and small story changes. The best thing about Loopmancer is the art style of levels. Every level feels very special and atmospheric. Even though it's only a 2D game, I can really feel the third dimension being there, thanks to the amazing graphics. The background is alive and moving. It even reacts to your presence sometimes. I would love to see more levels added into the game. It's also impressive that an indie game like Loopmancer has amazing cinematic cutscenes and high-quality full voice acting in English, not only in the cutscenes but also everything in the game. The music in the game is atmospheric as well, and it perfectly matches the environments of levels. You can add English subtitles to your gameplay, but occasionally some parts are displayed in Chinese instead of English. The game offers you a couple of different outfits and you can unlock them all very easily. I just wish I was able to switch outfits depending on what level I'm going to play. I would dress up in a nice suit when going to a luxurious hotel and perhaps something more casual for a muddy village. Unfortunately, you are not able to switch outfits at work. You can only do that at home at the start of every loop. Now a bit about the negatives. It's absolutely not okay that your game is not saved after beating a boss and finishing a level, because when the game decides to crash while you're watching the cutscene after, you will lose all progress and you have to play the whole level again. This is so damn frustrating and there is no excuse for them to mess this up so badly. When I'm already talking about watching cutscenes, I think that there should be an indicator if it's something you've already seen before or if it's a new variation of the cutscene. Especially when it's completely the same, you may not want to waste your time watching it again, especially when you also risk that the game will crash and you will lose your progress. In Loopmancer, you can collect power-ups in levels to make yourself stronger, but after a while, looping without dying puts you on a max of your powers, which is confusing at first when you see an increase of healing sodas from 7 to 7 or melee attack damage from 48% to 48%. It looks like some kind of bug when you don't know what the maximum is and you can actually choose the power up which doesn't increase anything. It makes absolutely no sense. Why would it even be a valid possibility if the second option gives you something which can actually increase your stats? I found it really annoying to collect notes and diaries to learn more about the game's world. There is a very short time for opening them after picking them up. After that, you have to go through menus if you want to read them. I got frustrated doing that over and over again, so after some time I gave up reading them. I definitely recommend you to buy Loopmancer at least during a sale and play it for 15 to 20 hours. I spent approximately 27 hours to get all the endings. It was very exciting at first, almost addictive, when I couldn't stop playing, always saying, one more loop. That feeling stopped around 20 hours of playtime and then it got repetitive and boring and I just wanted to be done with the game. There is sadly not enough variety for having so many endings. But overall I enjoyed my time with the game a lot and I would definitely play a sequel if it ever comes out. And this is the end of my Stinger review. Thank you so much for watching. Next Stinger review should come out soon and it will be about the Netflix series inspired game called Narcos Rise of the Cartels. Take care until then and tada tiri doo Stingers up!